Good morning, everybody. Another fine sunny Thursday morning, and today I'm doing a video on this 2014 Eldis Aspire. Now, the issue that is with this particular van, which is to do with the habitation door lock mechanism, this issue can also be on other sort of doors and of other manufacturers, so like Swifts and Baileys and all sorts. But I'm going to go through what the issues could potentially be, and I will show you what the issue is with this particular door, which I've just located the issue and found. But I wanted to show you what it could be. Now, the issue with these, there's three reasons. One is very unlikely. Two is 50-50. And the third issue is probably a 50-50 chance. The first issue that's unlikely but can happen is the mechanism here. All this mechanism, you can see it's got bars and rods and everything going up to the locks and down to the bottom lock there. They can get stuck and sticky, so you may have to take this off and grease it up, just lubricate it all. You'll know if that's your issue because the pump or the motor here will be trying to lock and unlock the door, so you will hear it making a noise. It will make a click noise for the opening and closing, but it won't unlock and lock the vehicle. So on that case, it's normally going to be a problem with the mechanism, needing oiling and greasing. The second issue, or one of we'll call it issue number 2 because we're in this area, is the electric motor. So the issue we've got on this particular van is there's nothing. When you push the button on the key to unlock, there is no noise. This motor is doing nothing at all. So one option or one reason for that could be that the motor has gone. These don't tend to go, they tend to last quite well, but they can go. I've had a couple of jobs where these have been knackered. Usually these only go when the mechanism is playing up, so if the mechanism's stiff and this little motor is having to work overtime to unlock and lock the vehicle, and then people keep pushing it and unlocking it, pushing it and unlocking it to try and get it to work, which in the end it may do because it will gradually work the mechanism, but that can mess up the motor. So what you would do in this case is you would take out the 2 screws if you want to remove this particular motor on this Eldis. You would take out a screw from there, Phillips, and a Phillips screw there, and then there's a tiny Phillips screw just in that part there, and then you just unhook it from the back there, pull it out. You also have a connector which connects onto this fitting here, 5-pin connector, 5 cables. You want to unclip that and then you can remove the motor. You can then test this motor by running an alive and earth into the correct pins, which I believe is I think it's the red and the black. So if you connect a battery straight to it, 12-volt battery, because this is a 12-volt motor, it works on 12-volt. You should sort of hear it clicking, or it should go in and out. This part here will move in and out. If it doesn't, when you connect the wiring to a battery, that's pretty much going to be your motor. Another way you can check, another thing you want to check as well as the motor, if your motor's working, is then whether you have got power to the plug. So here's your plug. So you'd put your test leads into the plug, and then you push the key fob to lock and unlock the door, and you should get a temporary power supply going through the pin into your multimeter. It will only be seconds. It isn't going to stay there. It ain't going to be a voltage that's going to stay there permanently. But if you get nothing, the likelihood is this is number 3 reason for this not working. Now then, this is not a very good design. It's a design flaw in my opinion. there's many motorhomes that have the cable that just runs across the opening section here from inside the van into the door. Now, as you can imagine, there's no way that this can fold in any particular way, and what can happen, as you can see, there's wear on this rubber seal here. There we are, just focus it in, is the cable will get pinched in the door frame here, and it will crease and get pinched, and over time on the older ones it can get brittle. In this case, you may see here I've created a little slice in the covering because I felt my finger along it. They tend to break here if they get brittle. They can break here or this point here. I mean, you can see it's stretched. There's no slack in that. It's stretched. The door's on its latch, but it's stretching the cable across. But in this particular case, it's not brittle cables. It is, and you can probably just see there, the red has literally been chopped. You can see the blue also has a bit of squash damage on it, but the red cable has completely been cut in half. Like I say, this covering was in perfect condition. This sleeving, there was no problem with this sleeving. It's only now cut because I put a little slice through it with a blade, a Stanley blade, just so I could gain access, because when I was squeezing I could feel that one of the cables had a break in it. I could feel a bit, you know, it just didn't feel right along the cables. So this is the most common issue with door locks, is the wiring that gets damaged through this section here on many habitation doors. So I would say the first one you want to check if you have problems with your door lock not working is this cable. If you've got this cable or a cable running from the inside of the vehicle to your door, check the condition of this bit of cable. No matter where it is on your door, just check it and make sure there's no breaks in the cable or damage, because what you don't want to do is take off all the door panel and everything and then find that this was your issue all along. Now, the reason I've taken off the door panel is because I was stupid and I thought it was a door catch. I didn't check this first, which I should have done. So yeah, this is what you want to check first. And I have had this a couple of times coming where these cables been broke. I had one coming where two or three of the cables had broken at this point here. Well, if that happens, this whole panel has to come off, the whole door panel, and that isn't a simple task, believe it or not, because all the mechanism and everything, as you can see here, is bolted through this panel. It's all one piece for the whole door. It can be removed, but to be honest, you don't want to be removing it. So the best option to do a repair on this is actually to make a bigger hole here to gain access to the cable, so you can strip them back and do a repair, and then put some sort of sleeving, new sleeving over here. Now, don't put connectors on because they'll just pull out. You need to do a solder job if you've got a break there, but like I say, the best, you can't really get that panel off. There's no point. You potentially break all the panel and crack it, so it's much easier just to cut a bigger hole here to gain access to the cables, do your repair, and just fill the hole with sealant or something if you want to make it look nicer. But in this case, we've got to just strip this back and join this cable back together and do a repair here, which again will be soldered. So I'm going to get on with that now. I hope this video will help people. I'm also going to do or have a video on how to remove this panel from here, so you can gain access to this area, but that will be, I'll put a link to that video on this video, and vice versa. I'll put a link on the other video to this one, because the only reason you're going to be removing this panel is if you want to do a repair on it for some reason, because the lock isn't working. So yeah, this also goes for the handle. As you can see, if you've got a problem with your handle's broken. You can see this handle is all linked to the mechanism, and these do break as well and get damaged. And if you need to replace this handle, if it's broken or split or the handle's snapped off because somebody's pulled it too hard, then you'd have to get this off. So this video would help you if you need to do that job as well. So anyway, I'm going to get on with a repair. I hope this helps people. This is what I'm here for, to do these videos to help people, because it's not a hard job to do. You just got to be very careful with removing this panel, but you'll see that in my video on the panel removal. Right, see you soon.